Ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, you know the rest of this speech. Jacquelyn Smithson Howard, author, mentor, ghostwriter, novelist, marathon runner, walker, survivalist,
Yeah.
mother,
Yeah.
grandmother, stroke recovery,
Stroke hero, yeah.
stroke hero, coffee drinker?
Not very much.
Okay. Stylish heels wearer.
Story behind that.
And the rejecter of wooden nickels.
Yes.
How are you today?
I am absolutely marvelous.
Welcome to this edition of Respecting the Pen.
Thank you.
Typically, as you well know, you helped me record the whole series damn near. I decided to not pretend with you since you are a great friend. I thought the behind the camera, me kind of doing the interview from behind the camera, was a bit impersonal. And I really wanted to sit with you and really talk about just writing. Anything you want to share about just writing in general before we go into what you're going to share today for this episode. Please, I'm all ears.
Well, you know me better than anybody who's going to be listening to this today, so probably should start with the fact that I've been writing since before you were here.
Okay. So, I was born in 1969, so are you telling everybody out there that you were writing before then?
I've been writing since 1959.
Okay.
And I started writing as a little girl, knee-high to a grasshopper, because I could feel something happening to me when somebody was hurting.
Okay.
My whole writing career, I think, has started because of whatever contract my soul has coming in here, that I wasn't supposed to be around people who were hurting without having some reaction.
Okay.
So whenever anybody around me was hurting, something inside me would stir, and thoughts would come, and things would just start happening. So I started writing down what I was feeling. And it always seemed to have a solution to whatever the problem was. And that's how I started, just being able to feel somebody.
Right.
And then figure out that there was a problem, and figure out that I couldn't solve it, but I could make you feel better.
Okay. Well, I know there are plenty of writers out there that would pretty much agree that that we react. We react to our surroundings with high emotion. I think you would be hard pressed to find anybody who's passionate enough to write that is not also sensitive to the energy of the environment. You know what I mean? So we're triggered when we're if hip hop if rappers of hip hop are street reporters, then authors, poets, novelists, and such are emotion reporters, or the status of the earth. You know what I mean? Kind of.
Both my parents were teachers,
Okay.
so they got us to do what they wanted us to do by telling us a story and making us realize how easy it would be to follow the story, thus follow the path of your life and they directed us by those stories. So the things that I learned was through stories, and the things that I did were through stories. So I see the world through stories, because I know if I don't do what I'm supposed to do the way I was brought up, the story's not going to be good.
Okay, so that inspires a question then. What story do you feel you were most inspired by? Doesn't matter who, doesn't matter if it was your mom, your dad, doesn't matter if it was a writer, a famous writer, an underground writer, poet, MC, rapper, doesn't matter. What is there a story that sticks out that resonates with you?
No, it was just my dad.
Okay.
My dad was the most creative, most spur of the moment. The way you talk about your mom creating stories at nighttime.
Right.
My dad was one person, as a salesman, I guess, that could fit in any situation like that quickly.
Okay.
He was just Johnny on the spot. So no matter what he saw or what he wanted in life, he knew how to direct everybody around him to get what he wanted. And that's what I learned early, to pay attention to the little signals around me, the way you're sitting, the way you're looking at me,
Right.
the way it inspired or sparked in me that there's something about you that I need
Okay.
to make me better.
Okay. Did that kind of spontaneity help you, seeing your dad do that?
Yes.
Okay.
My dad could go in any room and it would be like he could master the room.
That is an art into itself. Where you're at in your career, as far as it pertains to writing, because this is respecting the pen. When it comes to writing a poem, short story, / for something you know you're going to perform. Mm-hmm. I have this thing where if I know I'm going to do a piece or whatever, if I'm writing something, which I often do specific for a specific place, I could almost see the crowd reaction as I'm writing it. Mm. Are you at that space? Do you, when you write, how much, I guess the bigger question would be, how much out of body are you experiencing when you're writing?
I'm totally out of body, but I'm completely opposite of you. Instead of writing to a specific place or topic or venue, I am totally in surrender mode, so that when I start to write, I say, okay, God, what are we going to talk about? Mm. Because whatever comes up for me is what my source energy wanted to come out now.
Okay.
So it doesn't matter what the venue is or where I'm at or who's there, because for some reason, somebody
gotcha.
is supposed to hear what I say. So I start every writing exercise with a conversation of, okay, what are we going to talk about?
Well, it's funny you should mention the word exercise, because you did a marathon. How long was the marathon?
It was 26.2 miles.
Okay, and I think you're doing a marathon with your pen, because how many books are you either published with for your solo effort or ghostwriting or both? How many total works that you were responsible for, even if it's in part?
In
right.
The compilation?
Right. How many books are out there published with your work in there?
I have a total of 12 books published in 4 years.
That's a lot of freaking books. I respect your pen. And outside of being a good person to just know, a good human being, I really respect your approach as an MC, coming from a rapper background. Hip hop was very unkind in that regard. It didn't really matter how. It did matter how good you wrote, but if you wrote well, that was like a bonus. And your writing ability came second to your aggression.
Oh.
You see what I'm saying? You know, you had to fight for your spot. Then after you got it, now we are listening to what you got to say. But you had to bite, claw, and scratch your way to the platform. You know what I mean? So
I've never been competitive on anything.
even as a marathon runner, walker, no?
Because in marathon training, the first thing they teach you is that you have to run your own race.
Okay.
So you're not in competition with anybody because you got to walk the 26 miles.
Now, that was a learned thing for me. You know what I mean? After I realized that, okay, now not only do I have the platform, but I have my own platform. And I can speak as much as I want to about whatever I want to, and I was still angry. You know what I mean? So then I had to decompress and ask myself, why the hell am I so... But I was in battle mode.
But a lot of that comes from the environment that you came up in. You're from New York. It's fast paced. You came up in hip hop, like you said. It's dog eat dog. It's let me make sure you know what I come to the table with. Blah 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 blah.
Right.
I came up in the South with two parents that were teetotalers. Didn't drink, didn't smoke, didn't curse, didn't raise their voice. They giggled and smooched. I came up in this la 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 world where nothing would upset me because everybody knew who my parents were. Everybody knew who the family was. There's 300 cousins around town, so you can't do anything without somebody knowing you're a Smithson.
Okay.
So my total environment was completely different. There's nobody I had to compete with because I'm a Smithson. There's nobody I had to fight. There's nobody I have to worry about what you have that I don't have because I had everything I wanted in my mind because my parents raised us that everything we had was what we needed to have. I grew up in big houses. I had my sophomore class slumber party from the Catholic school, 150 girls at my house for the weekend.
That's interesting. Okay.
So I had a fluffy, I have a shishi foo life.
Fluffy.
That's what
I like the word fluffy.
Yeah, fluffy in all kinds of ways because I was heavy because we just ate and had a good time.
Okay.
So the whole competitive, the marketing, the data, the do you have the latest and the greatest, and it absolutely meant nothing.
So that brings us to the reason why we are here. Beautifully done. This is Respecting the Pen. And even though you have had these accomplishments, 12 books, a number of marathons, medals, and all of this other stuff, and and when I hear or read your writing, I'm always taken aback. I'm like, man, this person, or Jackie, is writing inspired writing. I love inspiration. The whole point of this whole series is I'm constantly in search for capturing lightning in a bottle. I'm like, ooh, you're inspired. What inspires you? Oh, wow, you're inspired. What inspires you? Hey, everybody, I'm inspired. Let me share. And with all of the stuff that you have done to this point, Miss Jacquelyn, or Jax as I call you, I would like you to now read your, what would you call it, a story, a piece?
When we talked about Respecting the Pen, the series,
Right.
The things that came to my mind were why, if writing is so important and there are so many different variations of writing, a lot of people will ask you what your process is, or how do you write, or when do you write, or where do you write, all of these specifics. And what I wanted to bring to the table was the reason I write. So this piece that I've written is called The Beauty of Writing.
Nice.
And I have to read it because I'm not a spoken word poet like you are.
No, that's, no, please,
So I have
please.
to read it.
Please.
And it is called The Beauty of Writing because
Okay.
for me, it is that emotion, that feeling of what it takes for me to write.
Okay.
The beauty of writing is that it is my miracle of openings. It is my heart listening to the heart songs around me that open me to new possibilities, new ideas, new concepts. It is the new willingness to expand beyond my comfort zone. It is the peace that meets all understanding in the moment. It is trust to believe in myself, in my ability to imitate my very existence. It is to create while everything inside of me is swirling around in rhythm and melodic notes yet undiscovered, as my fingers dance between the keys in blind faith that the end result will be legible to my spirit. It is the blending of everything my soul identifies as orgasmic. It is the breath that opens my eyes in the moment as the blood pulses through my veins, tickling me with enough energy in the morning to grab my pen in gratitude and write. I'm awake, God. What are we going to talk about today?
Nice.
It is every thought of every potential cosmic collision of every passenger that may cross my journey today. It's every encounter in anticipation of what will be created in this partnership. It's what stuffs up my nose to the point that I gasp like a little child coming up for air after being thrown into the pool of life. It is love and laughter and giddiness and whimsy. It's excitement and pure bliss and magic. It is the gift that sometimes feels like it's too good to be true. Too good to be me. Too good to feel this good, but it feels this good in my heart. It's angst and adrenaline and falling into the beautiful abyss of the unknown, trusting that my wings work as I twist and curl and soar into the warm bosom of heaven's landscape. I can go anywhere, floating from imagination to familiarity and back to the unknown again. As figures form in my brain, forcing my fingers to move faster, clanging the keys with my fingernails, causing the soliloquy, fusing thoughts and rhythms and hues and savory spices of everything.
Okay.
And my nose just topped up again. Breathe, Gemini, breathe, is what I tell myself. Writing is like breathing to me. It's the language that God gave me to travel into any circumstance and be okay, knowing that it doesn't matter. Doesn't matter where we come from. Doesn't matter what color we are or what experiences we share or don't share. We're here now, together. You and I. What can we do to make the world around us better? What can we share? A smile? A hug? A word? A story? What tiny little glimmer of light can we create that will change both of us exponentially? and alter the course of the universe immediately. Let's cause the universe to shift, to bend, to arc in grand style and grace.
Yes.
Let's just delight in the miracle of you and the miracle of me being the miracle of us. This moment. Sharing those kind of experiences, witnessing those kind of testimonies, that's the reason why I write.
Damn, Sam.
And that's what makes my eyes water, and that's what makes me
Goodness gracious.
stop with my nose. Sorry.
There's nothing to be sorry about. Thank you for sharing those words. There is so much that I could add to that, but why? I'll leave with this right before I'm speechless. You know what I mean? I grabbed my pen with gratitude. You had a lot of extraordinarily powerful, cleverly written lines in there, but that line sticks out to me the most. And a lot of people may not know, but I was a hippie for a brief moment in the early 2000s, and what I learned from my fellow hippie brethren was inspiration lasts but a moment.
Exactly.
So when we realize that, gives us something like a gratitude anytime we're inspired to write. And there are a million other creators like you and me in the regards of that they might stay inspired, but not all of those realize the blessing which is inspiration.
Yes.
Because inspiration doesn't have to climb through your window.
Exactly.
So the mere fact that she does is amazing. And that is why you write.
That's why I write. That's why every morning when I get up, when I wake up, especially post-stroke,
Okay.
when I wake up and realize I'm still here and still functioning, it means that there's still something to be done. The way I translate that, the language I use, is my writing. Because it's the one thing that everybody can relate to. I can make you feel whatever way I want you to feel by the way I write.
Very powerful stuff. Jackie, thank you for sharing.
Thank you for having
I
me.
appreciate you.
This has been a lot more fun than I thought it was because I was so nervous, and I'm thinking,
okay.
It's one thing to be on the other side of the camera.
Right.
It's another thing to be in front of the camera and to let everybody know the reason why you do things is a little bit strange sometimes, especially.
Well, and to your point, exactly. There is so much pretentiousness in so many art forms. You know what I mean? You could be at an art gallery and everybody's whatever. You could be at a hip hop show, same thing. You could be at the most friendliest or open mic spot, and there's still something elusive that you can't really put your finger on, and that elusive thing, in my opinion, is truth.
Yes.
It's truth.
Yes.
So what I like to do in my art is take whoever wants to follow my creative, eclectic ass around the digital hemisphere. What I like to say is, hey everybody, I know I'm crazy, but this is my process. This is what's going on in my heart. This is what's going on in my mind. This is the wrestle match, which is my spirit. This is what it is. These are the people like Jacquelyn Smithson, Howard, who I gravitate to, and I want to get to know those same elements, what drives you, and I would like to share that with everybody. So thanks again for allowing me to give a platform, and you bringing meat to the storehouse, which is your art, and sharing it out there.
You're welcome. Thank you so much for having the series.
Well,
You know?
well, we'll see what.
Because a lot of people don't know.
A lot of people don't know.
They will now.
Yeah. Until next time, folks.